Well, good morning. I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft, and thanks for joining me again for another video. Today, it's after hunting season. Deer season went out last week, but on the way home last night, my wife saw a car that hit a deer not far from our house. Temperatures were down into the freezing last night, the teens. She called me up on my way home this morning. I stopped by, and sure enough, the deer was laying there on the side of the road. So I stopped and picked that up, and I want to talk to you a little bit about utilizing roadkill. Now, some people talk about roadkill in a pretty negative sense, but you know, when an animal is fresh, that's a resource that can be utilized rather than just be thrown in a landfill or destroyed in some way. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to process up this deer. This is a nice, full-grown, fully mature doe. And I'm going to see how much meat I'm able to salvage out of this. And it does a couple of things. It gives me extra meat. It prevents someone from having to come out and dispose of it. It prevents possibly other accidents could occur from animals or whatever going after this carcass while it's laying on the side of the road. People swerve. There's accidents from that type of thing all the time. It's a good thing to be able to pick it up. Now, I had the opportunity night before last to pick up another one, but the deer had been run over long ways and was just completely destroyed. So the only thing I did was wind up removing the carcass for the local police department. But you know what? That gives them a better feeling, I guess what I'm trying to say is it builds good relationships with your police department. Even though I couldn't utilize that deer, I gave them a hand by removing it. So it's all part of building relationships. And also, it's provided me and my family with more meat. So, with that said, let me get to processing this thing, and at the end of the processing, I'll show you how much meat I was able to salvage from this particular deer. Now, today I'm going to be using this. This is my blind horse knife, the Pathfinder knife that I won up at the Pathfinder gathering. The more I use this knife, the more I like it. And a lot of people in some of the reviews say it's just too thick and it's not good for processing meat. I've used it on other deer, but never one that's actually frozen. But I'm going to use this today. We're going to see how well it does, and I'll give you a little review on that in the closing remarks. So take care, and I'll be back with you in a little bit. As you can tell, that's a good sized doe. I'm not exactly sure what the weight on it is, but I'm guessing somewhere around 100 pounds. Look at the amount of fat that's on this deer. I'm going to pull some of that off. We're going to render it down, and we're going to do some tallow projects with that. Okay, as promised, I told you I'd show you what I was able to salvage out of this, and here we go. Right there is a huge pile of tallow. That's plenty enough for my projects. We were able to get both of the tenderloins. There's one hind quarter, there's the second, front shoulder, and the other shoulder. So really the only thing we lost was the inner loins, the ribs. That's where it took most of the blow, was right in the ribs. Took me 30 minutes to do all of this, and once again, it's a great way to put this meat to use rather than it sitting on the side of the road and becoming buzzard bait or somebody having to throw it in the landfill. I told you at the end of this project I'd let you know how the knife turned out. The guys who are doing the reviews that are processing deer, I truly do not understand any complaints at all. The handle, because it's rounded, it lets you manipulate the knife very well. The thickness of the blade did not bother me at all. The Scandinavian grind did perfect, and it did not hurt the edge on this knife at all. I mean, it's still like a razor. So I have absolutely no complaints. I will definitely use it again, and enjoyed it very much. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go and get this deer in a cold box and let it sit for a couple of days. Wash up that one hind quarter that got a little bloody from some of the innards, and get this stuff processed up so I can utilize it later. So once again, thanks for joining me. I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft. God bless you.